Vibes like that, I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Robert Edward, Pablo de la Cruz, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Tiers Morgan, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, JMels 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Troy Shuker, Hairy Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Delwest Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike and Chow Young Cat. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links, as I say, to Patreon are below this video. But with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show. Hello. How's it going?
Everything is roses. How you doing, Refracted?
Sorry, I'm chipping ice. Hold on a second.
You see the old map guy over there getting into science now?
What map guy where?
The reason why that how did he phrase it? Oh, the reason for water boiling, why water boils hotter at lower altitudes. So the map guy is dabbling in science.
That's not science. Maths.
He thinks it is.
He thinks that's science?
Oh yeah. Yes, go down, go boom boom, Nathan. Because according to him, right, as you increase in altitude, gravity pulls fewer air molecules toward the Earth, decreasing air pressure.
Why are you telling me this? I couldn't give a crap.
I don't know, it was in Master Beast, so I figured let's talk about it. And I find it interesting, though, that he started out as a nice guy, so he must be looking at some of your shows. Because why would he bring up, while doing his little thingy there, about his tea? And then start going into why certain things are happening with his tea and heat. Unless he's listening to the show and is trying to, tune us up.
No, it's just automatic. He's a newly fledged anti-flat earther, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, so now he's just running on autopilot. Oh, need to justify the force that isn't a force that you can think of as a force. I mean, if you're watching this, Wayne, yeah, you're about 115 years out of date with that shit. Right? Gravity is not a force. What's that? You don't like me saying it? That was a quote by George Musa, Scientific American. I'll say it again. Gravity is not a force pulling gas particles anywhere. That's utterly ludicrous. Now, basic science will tell you in high school that gravity is a force. It's not. It's a pseudo-Riemannian bent space-time geometry invented by a man named Einstein. It's not 100, it's 1915. It's 111 years out of date. So we're going to be pulling gas that goes up away from the ground, down from the magical factories producing it in the sky, so it can fall down like the rain. No, rain comes down, gas goes up. It's produced at ground level. But this is Wayne, isn't it? Some cunt who decides that he's going to strike YouTubers because he doesn't like his ugly face associated with flat earthers. So he can then go on to have a little flat earth career, talking about 111-year out-of-date forces of gravity pulling things. My God. You just become another overgrown 12-year-old boy sniffing his own farts, telling himself that gravity's a force. There isn't really a force of gravity at all. Oh, okay, you don't like Nathan telling you how stupid and idiotic you are? Well, it wasn't. It was a quote from Professor Brian Cox. Quote, "There isn't really a force of gravity at all to pull gas down from the magical sky factories in fuckwits like Wayne's head. No, you dumb fuck. Retard, stick to mapping, you boring, fart-sniffing dweeb. What are you going to do next? Get yourself a fucking Batman t-shirt so you can tell yourself that the gas produced at ground level goes up in an altitude that's measured perpendicular to sea level, so that what? Gas particles means gravity, which means ball? You're a fucking retard, Wayne.
Was just about to point out there's something wrong with his observation if he's pointing to different elevations having water boil, different temperatures.
According to this fucktard, this is Wayne from the mapping company, north is generally the top. So I ask Wayne the fucking retard, are the gases travelling north, you fucking retard? Because I'm going to say, according to a map channel, that generally north is the top. What, of the gases? No, you see, that's a false direction fallacy, also employed by a fucking retard named Wayne. No, the gases aren't going north. When they travel vertically perpendicular to a plane of reference we can measure for altitude with barometric pressure. Pressure meaning the force exerted on the walls of the containment. And the gases aren't being poured in to go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. They're created at ground level and go up. Like the water you boiled, you stupid retarded fuckstick. Has Wayne dropped in IQ by about 20, 30 points since he was talking about stuff he was in his lane with? So when you're talking about the millimetre accuracy of other people's measurements from Ordnance Survey, you can sound smart. But here we are in a different field he's not so familiar with, and what do you know, Wayne's just another fucking retard overgrown 12-year-old fart-sniffing wanker. Yeah, what a shock. No, let's just get this fucking retard Wayne in order. Bang! You stupid fucking retard who's putting another man's career and income in jeopardy. You think gas go down by boom boom, do you, Dumbo? No. Wayne, you fucking retard. Bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry does not make gas that's not created in the sky go down. Gas has got elastic collisions, it expands in all directions. You fucking retard. Okay, Wayne? Yeah, I'm done fucking dealing with this spastic. Was he dropped on his fucking head since he stayed in his lane with his mapping information? Stick to telling us how accurate the Ordnance Survey can measure Earth with respect to sea level. So you can babble on about it like you seem interesting when you know you're not. You boring fart-sniffing dweeb, apologising for how boring as shit his own information is. Yeah, you boring fart-sniffing dweeb, you don't know a fucking thing about gravity. You're 111 years out of date, describing it as a force. Yeah, there is no force. We lied to you. End quote, Michu Kaku. How many more fucktards does this Wayne dipstick need to understand that gas isn't being pulled fucking anywhere? Unbelievable retard. You stupid clown. You're held back. Now, I've told you once, don't fucking breed, Wayne. You're contributing to the dumbing down of society with your stupid, out-of-date 111-year-old shite about gas pulling. No, fucktard. It expands in all directions. If it collides with anything, it has elastic collisions and goes in the opposite direction. That's to say, if one gas particle produced at ground level was to collide with another one and then go down, it would collide with the ground and then go back up again. Yeah, that's what elastic collisions means. But this fucktard thinks that it's because of a force that he was taught as a 12-year-old pulls things. No, there's no force. You're a fucking retard, Wayne. Stay in your lane talking about your boring fart-sniffing millimetre accuracy of Earth's flat measurements, OK? Or about how needles of compasses, when they sway, mean that north is generally the top. What, the top of these gases? Is that north? Is that where the gases go? Generally to the top of north, you fucking retard, when you're describing altitude perpendicular to a flat plane of Earth's measured surface level. Yeah, Wayne is a fucking retard, and he'll have me spitting feathers at him every time his name comes up. Why? Well, because he's put in jeopardy my fucking income. Why? Because he's a newly found cunt for anti-flurf. And he thinks he can somehow now engage in this fucking discussion? You stupid fucking retard. You'll have my absolute disdain poured upon you for your stupidity again within 2 fucking days. I've got this dipshit Wayne from the mapping company telling me that generally north's the top. And now I've got gas go down, go boom boom, go splash splash like fucking rain. Wayne, you're a cunt. Stay in your dumb fuck boring as all shit lane talking about how flat Earth gets measured. OK, you stupid dumb shit. I'll trim that out for my audience's pleasure. It's lovely doing business with you, Wayne. Yeah? I won't put your ugly fuck face on this thumbnail. I'll just put the name of your dumb fuck channel and maybe put a little picture of your email saying generally north's the top, you fallacy using motherfucker. I fucking hate Wayne. He's gone from being, oh, what a nice guy. I mean, he's a bit smug, sniffing his own farts, telling us how boring he finds himself with his wonderful millimetre accuracy that he didn't measure. Yeah, he was an all right, reasonably admirable guy. Then he takes an aversion to me because Earth's fucking flat and he's measuring it that way. Well, not him personally. He's utilising other great men who have measured Earth with respect to sea level when he just talks about this boring shit that we can reference to describe the millimetre accuracy of how flat Earth gets measured. Suddenly I'm getting fucking copyright strikes from this cunt. You're a cunt, Wayne. You understand that? C-U-N-T. Wayne from the mapping company. What a cunt.
But when you measure it flat, it can't.
Welcome, one and all.
How are you?
What's north? What's north, man? What's north? I mean, what's up? Sorry.
Standing up immediately to get away with my radio mic and we're into something that I've got to sit down and discuss because it's from the pre-show. So yet again, me smirking and chuckling in the intro to the live show because I'm saying please don't swear while I'm calling somebody a see you next Tuesday in the pre-show. This is, again, Wayne from the mapping company. Never has a man fallen from such reasonable admiration, I'm not going to put him on too high a pedestal, to the depths of scumbag so quickly. Yeah? Apparently, this man, Wayne, has decided to venture out of his boring fart-sniffing world of measuring how Earth is flat with millimetre accuracy from sea level to describing how gas with a 111-year out-of-date force is pulled down, go boom boom, go splash splash. Oh my God. Wayne, if you're listening to this, gas is not attracted by any force of gravity from the imaginary sky producing factories for gas. No, there's no factories in the sky producing gas. It's produced at ground level. That's gas. Like when you boil water or it evaporates, it goes up away from the ground in a measurable vector perpendicular to sea level with an altitude we can measure with barometric pressure to describe its perpendicular feet or meters measurement from sea level. Earth's measured flat for the altitude of the gases that go away from the surface. They're not poured in from factories to go down, go boom, boom with a force. That's not a force, but you can think of it as a force. Let's just quote George Musa. Gravity is not a force, end quote. To pull gases down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash, say Wayne, the idiot from the mapping company, who's decided to now venture out of his boring, snooze-worthy measurements of the millimetre accuracy of Earth's flat surface from sea level and venture into gravity. Now, let's just update you. Wayne from the mapping company, you complete idiot. Gravity is a bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry invented in 1915 by a man named Einstein and is not a force, end quote, George Musa. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. Gravity's not a force, we lied to you, end quote, Michio Kaku. There isn't any force pulling gases down to create barometric pressure that's higher at the measured flat Earth altitude at sea level. No. If you're getting your science acumen, which is something I've also been told Wayne is alleged to be professing to in this shit that's 115 years out of date. No, Wayne from the mapping company, this is not science. So again, here we are with some man who's copyright striking me, having to get an education in science, which he would have been taught at a much earlier age than the idiocy of gravity being a force. It's not a force, end quote, George Musa, Scientific American. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. But what we do have is a methodology called science. That's the scientific method that establishes the cause, I don't know, maybe water boiling in a hot spring that you come across in nature. And that establishment or elucidation of cause when studying effects in nature is elucidated by way of a hypothesis. It's an if and then suppositional statement mirrored with something called a null. That's a zero difference result. Both simultaneously cannot be true. If A, then B, your suppositional causal influencer for, I don't know, water boiling, B being boiling water, the effect, and A being the causal influencer you suppose in a hypothesis. The null being, if the causal influencer you suppose is varied, it will not cause the water to boil. That's a full scientific prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis when performing the scientific method, actualised by something called experiment. Not actualised by, well, gases pulled down by 115-year-old force that's out of date. No, that's not science, Wayne from the mapping company, who should stick to measuring... No, let's get that correct. Describing greater and more interesting men than he who have measured Earth's surface flat to the millimetre. You're not a scientist, Wayne from the mapping company. You're a moron. A moron who enjoys putting other men's income in jeopardy with copyright strikes on videos that have had 800 views because you don't like your ugly face being on a thumbnail that's specifically about you and you measuring Earth to the millimetre accuracy with respect to a plane of reference that's averaged called sea level, when we also measure Earth flat to acquire said master reference to describe that millimetre accuracy Wayne from the mapping company did not measure. What he has done, though, is describe to an audience incorrectly a force pulling gases down. Now, that's rain, Wayne. The rain comes down, the gases go up. You stupid idiot. Stick to boring the tits off people with how flat Earth is measured to the millimetre accuracy. Don't infer science. That would be the elucidation of the cause of a natural phenomena based on a hypothesis. That's the scientific method, otherwise known as the study of the physical and natural world, or physics. You're a map channel! What are you doing, you clown? Other than copyright striking me, potentially putting in jeopardy my ability to feed my kids. Wayne, you newly baptised scum of the anti-flat Earth. Shall I send you a t-shirt with a Batman logo on so your copyrights can delude yourself into believing that you're fighting for justice when you describe gas go down, go boom, boom, and allude to it being science, you complete clown of a boring fart-sniffing map channel? No, Wayne. Stick to what you know when you stand on the shoulders of greater men than yourself who have measured Earth flat. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Oh, it was me. You said something about sending him a shirt. Do you think he'll know which end is north? I mean, up. I'm sorry. I keep getting those confused.
No, that's all right. Yeah, Wayne, in his idiocy from the Mapping Company channel on YouTube, has described how gases generally reach the top of things when they're poured in, go down, go boom, boom to increase barometric pressure at sea level when measuring Earth flat for altitude of gases that are produced at ground level and go north. Do they go generally to the top there, Wayne? Because I've got specific outlined instructions from this clown on the Mapping Company channel that generally north is the top. Is that where they're going? Are the gases going north? Are they coming back from hibernation? Is that what the gases are doing there? You utter clown map boy. Is that what they're doing? They're going north, those gases. Are they generally going north, Wayne? No, this is just me taking the piss out of a retard called Wayne at the Mapping Company. Why? Well, because generally he's a complete idiot. Doesn't understand cardinal directionality and azimuth when describing needles that apparently move, which means my field lines, therefore north up. It's at the top, right, Wayne? I hope you enjoy me, a flat earther whose income you put in jeopardy, tearing a strip off your stupidity with your 111-year out-of-date gas go down with a force. No, we lied to you, end quote, Michio Kaku. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, Brian Cox. Gravity's not a force. George Musa, editor of Scientific American. Well, who have we got to contradict this? Oh, it's a high school educated buffoon on a mapping channel pretending to be a scientist. Saying that it's... No, Wayne, no. They're not going north, right? They're going up. When you boil the kettle, do you see them go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash? Is that what the clouds do, Wayne? Do they pour in gases to increase the barometric pressure? Is that what they do? No, you're just a newly baptised clown who thinks north, by fallacious reasoning of the false direction fallacy, is generally the top of something. And then juxtapose that with his gases go down, go boom, boom. Are they reaching the bottom there? Is that what they do when they come down from the imagination sky factories that Wayne's invented? Do they reach the bottom, do they, Wayne? Is that the south? When the gases go down, go boom, boom. Is that the south that they're reaching there, Wayne? No, you're just a stupid man with your boring fart-sniffing information having been used by a flat earther to prove exactly how accurately we measure Earth flat. To the millimetre, end quote, man who's standing on the shoulders of others who have measured Earth flat. That'd be Wayne, the newly found scientist. Like I say, Wayne, just let me know your address. I'll send you a Batman logo on your T-shirt so you can fight for the good of mankind, alongside all the other wanker, overgrown 12-year-olds.
Nathan, gas goes south, go boom, boom.
According to the mapping channel, yes,
John,
south is where the gases
north?
go when they get poured in from the sky.
No, when you finished the intro, John was saying, instead of what's up, he was like, what's north? What's north? Oh, I'm sorry, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? I mean, the problem is for Wayne, I now absolutely despise you. You went, as I said in the pre-show, from a reasonable standard of just amicable man making his videos going, oh, this could be quite boring to you. Yeah. You, when you describe other men measuring Earth flat, is useful to me, a man who's been told to have his balls removed, jump off tall buildings so I can go down perpendicular to a plane of reference and die. Have my kids taken off me, have social services sent round, that I beat the living daylights out of them, or the police should be here. Yeah? That's what I get. I get endless copyright strikes. I've had about 30 of them. Wayne was just the last in a long string of wankers who decide that they're going to find an angle to threaten my ability to feed my kids because I've described their words when they measure Earth flat in this instance. Now, at the time, we were saying, oh, we don't want to cover these wankers with Batman logos who sniff their own farts and say things like, gas go down, go boom, boom. We don't want to deal with these complete bastards anymore. I'd rather deal with pleasant people like Wayne. Bang! We talk about an instant cunt is made. Yeah? That's flat earthism for you. Now, if you're watching this, perhaps a newly no, you're never going to find me in a million years. I'm censored to all hell. You know, boring fart sniffers like Wayne talking about boring shit like maps can have 150,000 subscribers. Me, it'll take me about 12 years to reach 10 million views. That's what it'll take. A lot of hard work that could be put in jeopardy by some fart sniffer who doesn't like his own face on a video reaction video about him. Well, here we are again, aren't we, Wayne? Talking about you. It's just this time you've ventured into our lane, haven't you? Gas go down, go boom boom. My God, have you only had a high school education in what they call science? Is it really the case that you didn't go to university and study the newfangled bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry? Have you never heard of a geodesic? You stupid idiot who thinks he's a scientist? Copyright strike me, you stupid prick. Yeah? Don't like your ugly own face? Oh, right, okay, I understand. And now I'm going to chastise you. Yeah? Ask Thunderfoot how this works out. Has Thunderfoot recently made any responses to me? I made dozens about him. He said the same shit you did. Gas go down, go boom boom. Yeah, I remember Thunderfoot pouring bouncy balls into a fish tank. He had about 2 years of us taking the piss out of him. And now here we are with Wayne doing the exact same shit as Thunderfoot. These people are so stupid. You're as dumb as Thunderfoot. The difference is he is actually capable of crediting himself with being a scientist. You're a fart-sniffing map channel saying that you're doing science. Now, the reality is neither of these two fucksticks are doing science. Nevertheless, at least Thunderfoot can claim he is by his certificate. What's Wayne got? Oh, he's got himself standing on a hill talking about other people's measurements of the land. That would be the Ordnance Survey, when he disclaims how boring he is. Yeah, you are. Yeah, at least you were reasonable up until the point that you struck me, threatened my ability to feed my kids, and then go on to start discussing flat earth subjects like my gravity and my magnetic field lines and my compass that means north is the top of something. Oh my God, how quickly these clowns fall to being just the same exact level as every other grown over 12-year-old spastic who thinks he's Batman. Yeah, Wayne's just there real quick. I've never seen anybody fall down the hill of anti-flat earthism so quickly. Like, literally never, Wayne. It's a new record by a complete spastic. Well done. You take the cake for falling down the hill of anti-flat earth system as quickly as you have. Well done, Wayne, the mapping company. Anybody else want to tear a strip off Wayne the Spastic for his assertions that gas go down, go boom boom? Oh yeah, of course, I forgot the clouds are producing gas and pouring them in on us. All right. Meanwhile, I have actually responded to a personal email from this twat. That's Wayne, the mapping company. He sent me a suggestion that I should cover his idiocy with the wrong direction fallacy that says north is the top. Or bottom, generally. Now, this stupid fucking retard is testing my fucking patience. Now I'm having to deal with gravity and his stupid shit, akin to Thunderfoot's nonsense, where you pour bouncy balls, a solid, into a fish tank to say gas behaves like bonded solids. No, they're unbonded and move in all directions after being created at ground level and going up, Wayne. Now, this is the second time I've had to respond to you, but I've had a personal email from you that I have responded to, in which Wayne, the mapping company, personally challenged me to make a video about his use of the wrong direction fallacy when describing north as the top of something. I've responded to you. It's an affirming the consequent fallacy. If P, Earth, a sphere, then Q, my magnetic field lines, Q, therefore P, Earth, a sphere. I've responded to you, Wayne. Now, I also put in a little request that you respond not to gas go down, go boom boom barometric pressure, but azimuth and altitude diagrammatically exampled in the email response I sent to you. Now, I wonder, is Wayne not also a fart-sniffing Batman t-shirt wearing boring-ass map channel? Is he also an abject coward who can't take responsibility for suggestions that he's had put back in response? Yeah, you suggested I do something, didn't you, Wayne? And I have done. Lest you be called a coward, you'll explain how the fuck the top of anything is described with azimuth, like I diagrammatically exampled to you, you stupid clown. I'm talking to Wayne, the mapping company. I'm taking great pleasure in tearing a strip off you for your abject stupidity when you say, generally, the top of something is north because of my compass. Right, Wayne? Yeah, we dealt with that. I've also given you a twofer and dealt with your akin to Thunderfoot shite that gas is like bouncy balls poured into a fish tank, you dumb fuck. Now I expect a response in regards to how the fuck north is generally the top of anything, with a diagrammatical example of azimuth and altitude used in your explanation. Or I expect a fucking apology from this fart-sniffing, boring-ass, newly turned Batman t-shirt wearing wanker, with his copyright strikes, his gas go down, go boom boom, and he's generally having a north at the top of something. Yeah, Wayne, you stupid wanker, get a load of me.
So you're just not going to answer why air is thinner on top of Mount Everest?
Well, after it's gone up, what's produced it? All of the trees at the top of Everest? Is that where the gas came from? No, I'm going to go with the only reason it's at the top of Everest is because it's gone up. How do we know how high Everest is? For the altitude of this gas that hasn't been poured in from above. Yeah, oh, we know it because we've measured the Earth flat from surface level with a tool called sea level. Oh, yeah, we do know how. High, that's up or top. Top. Familiar words if you're listening to this, Wayne, you stupid clown. The top of Everest, yeah? Yeah, we'll measure the millimetre accuracy of that from sea level, won't we? Yeah? Yeah, that's how Earth is measured when we describe the gases going up to the top of Everest, you say? Oh, well, excuse me, I'm a bit confused. There's a spastic called Wayne that said the things go down. Oh, what were they produced at the top of Everest? Was there factories up there producing gas? Oh, absolutely no vegetation whatsoever to produce gases. Oh, I see. Wayne's just a spastic out of his boring lane, not talking about the millimetre accuracy of the top of the land that we measure flat. Now he's claiming to be a scientist, talking about barometric pressure. Oh my God. Yeah, like I say, Wayne went from reasonable, just about, let's bring him down a couple of pegs, moderately amiable normie talking about maps to scum of the dumbass Earth. Real quick. Real quick.
Well, is there any evidence Earth can be measured anything other than flat?
Not according to Wayne at the mapping company. According to Wayne, we've measured it to the millimetre. That's how accurate we've measured Earth flat, Neil. Give this man a copyright strike immediately, I would say. What do you say?
Well, to me, it's obvious you struck a nerve, and the man's been contemplating these things. And he's troubled, Nathan, the same way anybody else would be troubled when they're in a religion and something contrary comes across their desk.
Yeah, he's got the same thing going for me. You can probably hear it if you're a familiar watcher of the show. This is me genuinely furious. Not quite as furious as when I have to deal with teachers. Yeah, people lying to little children. No, not quite. But when it's my own kids that are having the ability to feed them threatened by this man, who now thinks, oh, it's all right, I'll just engage in this other man's shit. Really? What, so now that I won't respond to you because you'll copyright strike me if I do? Suddenly you've got the power of the Batman logo. Truth and justice. Gas go down, go boom boom. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, Rain, is that what you've become? You fart-sniffing cunt.
Yeah, we got to alter that statement now. It's gas goes south, go boom boom.
Oh, beautiful, Wayne. Oh, you're going to become part of the lexicon in that moment that just happened. So gas goes south. Generally south. Go boom boom, right, Wayne? Do you feel like a retard, Wayne? I'm intrigued because we're now going to label this fallacy of stupidity with you in mind when we say, with a very, very obviously discernment tone. No, we're taking the piss out of you when we go, gas goes south? South? Generally south? to go boom boom from the factories in the sky, right, Wayne? You're stupid, man. You should have stuck to your boring fart-sniffing map stuff that you know is dull as shit. That's what you should have done. No, not send me an email. Is there any chance you cannot use my face? I've got these corporate gigs going. No, nothing like that. Strike immediately. Yeah, Wayne, yeah. You just became like every other wanker we deal with and have done for 12 years. That's it. You went from being reasonable to unreasonable right quick. And we know why too, don't we? Because you want gas to go down, go boom boom, with gravity on a sphere. Yeah, the only reason you'd be saying that is because you've got a sphere belief that you need to affirm. With bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time... Oh, I forgot. Wayne didn't get past a high school level understanding of gravity. He's as stupid as Thunderfoot. He thinks gases behave like solids poured into a fish tank, doesn't he? Yeah, Wayne's just dumb as all fuck. Yeah, obviously Wayne was dropped on his fucking head by his mother. He's stupid. Thinks gas go down. Do you not understand the difference between the behaviour of solids, liquids and gases there, Wayne? You're clearly not. You fucking claim to be a scientist. With this? Oh my God, how embarrassing for you. Yeah? It's a shame you didn't remain admirable. Yeah, it's a shame you didn't remain reasonable. Maybe send me an email and politely ask for your thumbnail to not have my face or your face on it. Yeah, you could have done that. You didn't. You became an unreasonable cunt immediately, didn't you? And then decided that you'd then engage in the discussion about flat Earth, having taken a perceived victory through the copyright system. Oh, well, here we are describing what a fucking retard Wayne from the mapping company is. This video will have Wayne from the mapping company is a fucking retard in the title, because he is. He hasn't progressed beyond his high school understanding of gravity, definitely doesn't understand what science is when it comes to cause and effect, relationships that describe or elucidate the cause of a naturally occurring phenomena. Now, he doesn't understand science, he doesn't understand barometric pressure, he thinks gases are poured in from sky factories, he's as dumb as Thunderfoot, calling himself a scientist, while his gases go generally south. Generally south, right, Wayne? Stupid spastic. Enjoy the taste of my bollocks, you fucking retard, Wayne.
So hold on a second. So we have to change everything. So the next time NASA puts on a show, they're gonna shoot their rocket north, correct?
Is that where they're going, north? Are they going north, Wayne, generally? The rockets, is that where they go, generally north? To the top of the sky in the north? Oh my God! Wayne, hello? You are stupid as shit. I expect a response. You've told me. Generally, top, north, right? No, you fucking clown. What is wrong with you? Why have you got a mapping channel? Give him 150,000 subscribers and suppress me. Give me copyright strikes and visits from the police and social services. Yeah? Give me endless complaints made to YouTube. Say that I should jump off tall buildings and die, or have my balls removed. Now, the only people who shouldn't breed are people like Wayne, making society stupid. Now, gases, they don't behave like solids poured into a fish tank. Would you like me to give you a diagram of how solids, maybe bouncy balls, behave when you pour them? I've got a video by a fucktard called Thunderfoot to demonstrate just how wrong Wayne from the mapping company is when he incorrectly asserts that there's a force of gravity pulling gases down. What a fucking retard, Wayne. Seriously, just delete your channel. You're contributing to society becoming stupid, yeah? Now, why we would have to go through this with you, I don't know. Oh, it's because this cunt's copyright strike me and then feels that he's got the need to email me about stupid fallacies like the wrong direction fallacy and up the top of things being north. Why? I don't know. Just cunts out there. Cunts that think that they can threaten your ability to feed your own family because they want gas to behave like bouncy balls. Yeah. That's the kind of wanker Wayne is. That's correct. Very quickly descent. Yeah, that would be going south, would it? When I describe metaphorically your descent into the pit of hell that is anti-flat earthism. Are you going south down that hill? There, Wayne?
Is that in as well? So it's south, in, and down are all the same direction to him?
I don't even know who this guy is. I have to look him up. It says we're a small company running a navigation course across England.
Huh? Come back with that?
Do Wayne's customers know he's incompetent? Like he doesn't understand what North is. He's running a mapping educational seminar or anything to do with it. I think maybe we should contact the people who govern him in some way and suggest that he's a fraud or a charlatan. He doesn't know what North is. How the fuck would this person have the right to teach people how mapping works? He doesn't understand how fucking North works. Wayne, I'm pretty sure we should start contacting some authorities. I don't know, like people who deal with copyright strikes. You know, authorities that might put in jeopardy your ability to pay your fucking mortgage. Because you don't know what fucking North is, Wayne. So we're going to need to contact some authorities and have you investigated for fraud, Wayne. You know, I don't think it's reasonable that you, a man who doesn't understand what top and North mean, because you generally think that North is the top of something, because compasses do that. I mean, if I was expecting this man to understand what azimuth is, I'd expect him to understand how horizontal the directions and the degrees with respect to North are. Now, this man's taking money from people to teach them about this stuff. I think we should have Wayne's job off him. I think I should start up a campaign to raise money to have Wayne excluded from his career. Now, I'm not going to suggest that he has his fucking testicles removed or jumps off fucking buildings so he can describe a perpendicular descent towards death, as I've had suggested happens to me when other cunts just like Wayne put in copyright strike after copyright strike, complaint after complaint, police report after police report, social services report after social services report. Why? Well, because Earth's measured flat to the millimetre accuracy, says Wayne from the mapping company, who doesn't understand what North is. How dare this man teach anything to do with mapping? He thinks generally the top of things are achieved when he describes North horizontally with azimuth. I don't think Wayne should be taking money off anybody ever again for this. I don't think Wayne should be dealing with maps. I think he should be demanded by a justice system to remain at least 30 feet away from all maps because he thinks North's the top. Yeah? So, Wayne, I think this is getting a little bit more too serious. You shouldn't be taking money off people, you fraudster. Yeah? Do you not understand that you should be of a certain education standard about the thing you're taking money off people for when you describe North? Sorry, just had a moment of spastic there when I was trying to point North and generally my hand went to the top because that's what this man taking money off people to teach them about mapping said. He also seems to think that gases generally go to the south when they're poured in from the sky factories when he's playing scientist. Now, Wayne from the mapping company is a fraudster, a scammer, scamming people with false information that he doesn't understand. We've proven he's a fraud. Needles aren't pointing to the top of anything, Wayne. We've had to explain this. I've got the evidence to show how stupid you are. It's in front of me. I'm going to read my reply live on air. This is what I had to send in response to this man proactively contacting me to make sure I understand how generally North is at the top of something. Yeah, he proactively contacted me and suggested that I make videos about it. Now, I'm not making any suggestions. I'm making demands that this man has his job taken away from him. I think it's only reasonable that a man who doesn't understand what North is shouldn't be teaching anybody about mapping. Anybody disagree? That's not rhetorical. Anybody disagree? A man who doesn't understand North shouldn't be teaching anybody about maps, should they?
Well, hold on a second. They are in a heliocentric system.
No.
And until the world wakes up, he's only teaching what he thinks is correct.
No. His religion in heliocentrism has nothing to do with people's lives being lost if they get lost based on maps that are comporting to field lines in a religious belief that this man holds. No, you shouldn't let your religion interfere with your mapping. And he has. He's let his religion of field lines on a ball being generally the top interfere with what North is on maps. Now, that's it. No, I don't think there should be any warnings. I just think he should have his job taken off him. Now, not because I'm being a wanker, not because I've got my face on a thumbnail with 800 views. No, that would be like unreasonable. Like a totally extreme measure from a cunt. No, I'm saying you're potentially putting lives in danger. If someone gets lost because they don't understand how fucking North isn't the top of anything, if they don't understand that because a man taking money from them is frauding them with his misapprehensions about how fucking compass works, then that's potentially putting people's lives at risk. People use maps so they don't get lost and die. Now, I'm not going to stand for this Wayne idiot pretending to be a scientist when he describes gases like they're solids, or pretends he knows what North is when he's taking money off people fraudulently. I think Wayne should be stripped of his job. He should be demanded by courts to not come within 30 feet of any maps, and he certainly shouldn't be taking money off people for it. How dare he? The fraud. How does this feel, by the way, Wayne? You know, when you're watching this, like, oh, no, don't get involved with my job. You'll probably sniff your own farts and say, I'm self-employed when I scam people with maps.
Really, give me a spray.
Neil, you're off mute.
Sorry.
Nathan, sorry to interrupt. It's not like we've not given him a chance regarding, we've said in the source and the citations and the information describing now North is a cardinal horizontal direction. And he just automatically deleted all that, so he didn't want that evidence to be seen by any of his viewers. You know, I even sent it again just in case there was a mistake, and then I was permanently deleted by the looks of things. So it's like we've tried to correct him nicely and give him the correct information, but for some reason he doesn't want to see that truthful information.
He just wants to scam people into giving him money for something he doesn't understand. I'll just read out his email to me when he suggested I should be making videos. I mean, I expect the same in response. I have responded to this man who's frauding people for money when he doesn't understand what North is. Just a quick one. I got an email from one of your subs last week. Not sure if they're male or female. Said many of my videos are wrong as I point out the compass needle dips and show this happening in a video. They said that proves compasses don't point north or south, as north or south are straight lines from some location. I pointed out to them that north and south are just directions, which follow a magnetic field line. These lines generally, but not always, point to the top or bottom. Sorry? Did I read that correct? Point to the top or bottom? No, that's not what north or compasses do, Wayne. You definitely shouldn't be taking money off people for this. Yeah? I think I'm going to make it my mission that you get prosecuted in a courtroom for being a fraud if you don't understand how north works with azimuth and degrees, because you think, I'll just read it one more time. I pointed out that north and south are just directions that follow a magnetic field line, and these lines generally, but not always, point to the top and bottom of Earth. Oh, wow. No, you're a con man. You've just decided to introduce your religious faith into something that might cause people to die, Wayne. So you shouldn't be dealing with maps. You definitely shouldn't be charging people for money for your services, because you're bunk. You're just stupid. You don't understand what north is. You don't understand azimuth. Now, I've challenged you to show that I'm wrong about this by giving you, which I'll get to in a minute when I read my response, a diagrammatical example of what azimuth and altitude are. Altitude would be the representation of when you get to the top of something, 90 degrees, zenith, things like that, perpendicular to a plane of reference that you can measure for directionality in azimuth. But you think that generally, but not always, north's referring to the top of Earth? You're wrong. You shouldn't be taking money off people. It is that simple. There's no other way to describe it. Let's find where I was. Point to the top or bottom of Earth. Wrong. But whichever way they point, they don't point to the top of anything, Wayne. You've obviously never used a compass. Yeah. Whichever way they point, there is no gap or break in the line. The always come out of a magnetic and eventually go back in again. Terrible sentence. The reason for this, nobody asked you, I wasn't asking for this unsolicited information, you copyright strike me, you total cunt. The reason for this is some magnetism, or is always in a closed loop and has to come out somewhere and go back in somewhere else, so it must be curved. They answered that I can't be in a loop. Terrible sentence. as the world is flat. I didn't reply. This, says Wayne, would be a good topic for you in a video. Wayne. Oh, right. Yeah, it's an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy. If my magnetic field lines, yeah, I covered it earlier. Meanwhile, I did respond to Wayne with diagrammatical examples. I'll read this out now. Vexatious copyright claim and the wrong direction fallacy. Dear Wayne, a man who made a claim against my channel which I used to financially support my family. Thank you for your unsolicited email following the conclusion of our business regarding the use of your face on a thumbnail used for a video reaction about you specifically. You think north is generally referring to the top vertical perpendicular to a plane, do you? See wrong direction fallacy at the bottom of this email. That would be a vertical direction. Then I cite, the four cardinal directions or cardinal points are the four main compass directions, north, south, east and west. The corresponding azimuths clockwise, horizontal angle from north are 0, 90, 180 and 270 degrees. The term top, new citation, the term top simply indicates vertical position and does not inherently define orientation. It can refer to the highest point of a vertical object. End citation. Directions are 2D, as are map scales, miles, and the horizontal measurements of distances shown on the maps. We have perpendicular altitude changes in topography, according to you, accurate to the millimetre when measurement of the quote-unquote top of the ground is made, detailed with measurements from sea level, together with mean sea level itself. Do you need me to cite what azimuth means, you stupid man? It's flat. Not generally, or just. Flat. Always and without exception. You just come across as a complete weasel when you use words like generally. That's scumbag weasel language used by idiots. Azimuth is horizontal. No need for generalisation when we detail facts about measurements. Then I cite, azimuth is a horizontal angle measured in degrees clockwise from north 0 to 360 degrees that determines the direction of an object on the horizon. It is essentially a compass heading, north being 0, and then it goes on. Key examples: navigation and hiking, setting a course, taking a bearing of 315 degrees southeast to reach the camp. Does horizontal generally mean the top? Or are you just stupid, Wayne? Go buy a compass. Look at it. It's not measuring the top of anything, you stupid man. Top being a flat earth only description perpendicular to horizontal. A ball has out and in, and you create the globe earth religion of ball surfaces with flat measurements of angles to stars from the surface level used after measurement of the surface level on the equatorial plane inside a ball. So it can function with azimuth, flat, for direction and altitude perpendicular to a plane to establish where the top of things are. Always. Generally, fart-sniffing smug bastards will seek out ways to affirm their ball bias with stupid nonsense that you, Wayne, use to work outside of the practically applied conventions like 2D flat directionality and altitudes perpendicular to a plane of reference because magnetic field lines, therefore ball, you stupid religious clown trying to confirm your ball religion. Then I put a diagram that shows observer with a azimuth and horizon on the same line and perpendicular zenith with celestial meridian describing a azimuth and altitude system with an effective dome around an observer who's measuring an angle. That's what I diagrammatically show to completely annihilate the stupid shithead Wayne's assertion that the top of something's represented when you describe north generally. My God. Then I point to the diagram. Hold on, I'm not done. Is this north generally at the top? No, you stupid man, it's absolutely flat without question. I suggest you use this diagram to make a video about how north is generally at the top, so we can all laugh at you. I understand this must be very difficult given your limited understanding of English words like top when using it in the context of the convention of direction. Don't strike me then think I desire videography suggestions from you based on random people who contact you and your failure to understand how measurements get you to the top of the land, which has had a survey, not by you. For its height, kind of fool are you? Earth is measured flat with a compass. You fail to comprehend the difference between azimuth and altitude, both being flat Earth prerequisite measurements. Unless a horizontal angle is generally pointing to the top, a vertical description, you clown. Look up cognitive dissonance, you stupid man, who gave me a copyright strike and threatened my ability to feed my kids. I hope you get blown off the top of a cliff. Cliffs having perpendicular altitude measurement from sea level and accurate to the millimetre. Don't email me again with your dumb suggestions based on random people who contact you and are not my kids, who I like to be able to feed with the revenue you saw fit to threaten. Earth is measured flat with a compass. You level this tool to a reference that's 2D, and you measure degrees in the horizontal, you idiot. Feel free to join my live show via the public link and tell me that azimuth and compass directions are generally referring to the top of something, you stupid idiot. I can then call you dumb for an audience and feed my kids with the revenue generated from your cognitive dissonance and idiocy. Top? From a compass? No, you are very much mistaken, you stupid man. And then I quote, the wrong direction fallacy in mapping, specifically the assumption that north is up on a 2D map, is a cognitive and cartographic bias that mistakenly conflates a direction coordinate with a vertical orientation. End citation. New citation. A directional coordinate with respect to the four cardinal directions, north, south, east and west, is a measurement system that defines a specific location or bearing based on its orientation relative to these fixed points, often using angular degrees. Earth is measured flat. North is not generally up. You fallacious using moron with a religious globe faith. Sincerely, Nathan. Open brackets. A family man with two small children trying to make a living who constantly gets bastards like you making claims against his main source of income. P.S. Your claim was about the 30th I've had to deal with in 12 years. You fart-sniffing, fallacy-using, smug bastard who doesn't understand what top means when referencing 2D directionality measured in horizontal degrees and used in practical application for measuring flat Earth.
That was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's
How
what you get.
embarrassing must it be to have a mapping channel and the mapping guy and call yourself a mapping guy when you don't know what direction is and you don't know how a compass works? I mean, come on.
I would like to know what he thinks that a compass is dipping from and to.
Yes, if you're going to describe how a compass dips, end quote, Wayne idiot from Mapping Channel, you're going to describe that dip with respect to a horizontal plane of reference also. How much it dips is its deviation from the horizontal plane of reference.
Which is Earth.
Yes, like when you level the compass in the first place.
Well, I had the same problem in TFE. Everybody has the same problem, but are we becoming the monster? Because remember when they got Mullen fired, right? So, I mean...
Yes, let me just answer that. Yes. I will and do become a monster. Yeah? Now, I identified this when we covered it a couple of days back as this being my weaknesses. Yeah? But that's the problem. When you force somebody into a corner, now for me it's a financial corner. That is to say, this arsehole has threatened my ability to feed my kids. Yeah, then watch me turn into Wolverine and scratch your face off. Yeah, that's what happens. You turn into a monster. That's what happens. So if you're sitting there going, why are you acting like this? Clearly, when the people on your panel are identifying that you've hit a nerve because this man's obviously reacted to the flat Earth information, the directionality on compasses, flat. the altitude perpendicular to a flat plane of gases that are going down. Yeah, he's obviously responding. He's reacting to these things that you cover. Yeah, he is. Yeah. But in so doing, he's had to put me in a corner with copyright strikes so he can feel confident enough to do so. Yeah, that's going to turn me into an absolute monster. Yeah, that's when I describe metaphorically me wanting to stamp on people's heads. Yeah, when you threaten somebody's ability to feed their kids, they get incredibly defensive very, very quickly. That's correct. Yeah. Now, it is a failing. I'm not pretending this is somehow admirable, but that's just how fathers of daughters behave when you threaten their ability to feed them. Yeah, they're going to react badly. They're going to react with outrage and sometimes with aggression. That's me. That's me and my reaction now. I know it's a weakness. I know it's a monster, but I can identify them. I can weaponize them. I can turn my absolute feather-spitting vitriol towards this complete cunt called Wayne from the mapping company into an education for an audience through the disdain. Yeah? That's what I can do. I can use Wayne as an example, just like I did with Thunderfoot. The only difference is Thunderfoot didn't copyright strike me. He's still stupid. He still thinks gas go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash, just like Wayne. These two fart-sniffing morons. It's just Wayne behave very differently to Thunderfoot. Now, meanwhile, we're going to adapt our former rhetoric of gas go down, go boom, boom. No, thanks to Wayne from the mapping company, he'll never live this down. Yeah? Gas go south, go boom, boom. Right, Wayne? Generally.
So I don't know who this guy is, but I just looked him up. So his company is called Map Reading Company. But I'm not sure. Is this guy teaching you what the map of the Earth is, or is he teaching you if you get lost how to survive? I don't get that.
That's what maps are used for.
So this guy's gonna teach me that if I get lost in the jungle, how to find my way back, basically.
I mean, you identify that generally north is the top. That's what you do. I mean, if you're a fraudster like Wayne, ripping people off, then your religious belief clouds your ability to teach someone how to use a map. The map reading company, what's he reading? Is he reading out generally the top of things as identified with north on a compass? That north that's pointing up when you describe its tilt with respect to a plane of reference, right, Wayne? Yeah, you're a fraudster. Why are you conning people, Wayne? Why are you a con man? You're a confidence trickster. You obviously don't understand north, yeah? So why are you ripping people off? I don't get it. It's a scummy move. I think we should get the courts involved. I think this man should be deprived of making a living. What do you think?
Also, Nathan, what he does to the other gentleman who just said something, on some of his videos, he shows people how to use a compass and use a map and get your bearings. Yeah, he will demonstrate how you hold the compass out in front of you, parallel to the surface level, and then you're using a 2D map and the grid reference, to work out distances and get from A to B. So when he's demonstrating this, it's being demonstrated as it is, flat, level, horizontal, and the compass is being used correctly. When he's challenged on anything, he changes his tune and says, well, we're not actually doing that, even though I've bloody demonstrated it on 10,000 videos. It's due to magnetic fields, and the Earth is a globe. I'm just showing it horizontally because it's easier.
Yeah, like I say, he's letting his religious belief in heliocentrism cloud his judgment when it comes to paying customers, because apparently what he teaches isn't how it is, because it's just easier. Well, no, Wayne, it's not easier to describe north as being the top of something. That's just what stupid idiots like you do when they're exercising a religious belief in a globe-shaped Earth that they hold to be true, in defiance of the actual measurements of Earth with azimuth. Do you say when he helps people get their bearing, do they get their bearing? Is that what they do? Like north being up and all? No, he's just a scammer. He's a fraudster. He's a con man. Wayne from the map reading company is a con man.
Nathan, we have somebody in chat named Navigate Where. He has a question. Can Nathan read
Stop.
the...
No, I don't want to hear it. If you've got a question for me, don't be a chat skank, right? Now, Wayne can get away with it. He's got 150,000 emails. When he sends me a request for what I should respond to, I'll respond to him because he has at least got a modicum of respect. Because when he makes a demand of me to make a video about North being up generally, and I respond to him, I can then look down the barrel of this camera and say, well, I hope you're going to respond to azimuth and altitude diagrams I've sent you, man with 150,000 subscribers. I will put a link in this video to you, Wayne. But as for this guy in chat, no, you've got a public link. It's at the bottom of the video. You're in my chat, you're listening to me call you a coward like I'm going to be calling Wayne a coward if he doesn't make a video response about azimuth and altitude and how the fuck North is generally the top of anything. That's what I get when I extend responses to emails. You in my chat skank comment section live can join. There's a link. Join. Don't get Neil to respond to what you've read. Yeah? Join if you've got a question for me.
You know they're not going to join, Nathan.
Yeah,
okay, no worries. Well, then they are cowards. If you've got a question, there's no brave pills needed. You've just got a question, right? That's what I heard. Somebody from the chat's got a question. You can come and ask me a question. Asking things isn't going to get you in trouble, is it? It's a question. So you don't need brave pills. Yeah? Or do you? Oh, you're scared of me. Yeah, I know you are. You all are.
I mean, if it's about navigation, you can always contact Wayne and ask Wayne.
Well, the thing is, Nathan, they got this this nonsense that they spread all over the internet. That every time somebody tries to come in to set you straight or put you in tune, all you do is shout at them.
Really? Oh, so you can just ignore me addressing that I've been told by a map reading company channel that North is generally the top of something. That's me shouting. Yeah. If Wayne was here, I would absolutely chastise that con man fraud who's extracting money from people for mapping information when his incorrect assertion is that North is the top. Yeah, I'd scream at him, yell at him, and call him a fraud. Oh, well, that means you're wrong. Give him your money then, yeah? Give him your money so he can teach you how magnetic field lines means a level two-dimensional directionality from a compass means generally the top of something. You can do that. You can ignore me and based on my demeanour when I yell at people for being frauds. You can do that. Yeah? Well, I mean, we were in court and he did murder the man, but the guy who's very upset about it did scream at him. So I think we should let him go. Murder or otherwise, his accuser did yell, let's be honest. The dumbest thing I've ever heard. What that actually means is you are all terrified of me. I know the score here, yeah? I know why you need to lash out. I said it yesterday in the live show. Yeah, you need permission. And your mind, you get permission when you show me to be wrong. Now, you're too cowardly to join a public show, so you'll make your little response videos, which I gave up on watching it a long time ago. Couldn't care less anymore. Just cowards. Fart-sniffing, Batman T-shirt wearing cowards. That's all you are. Yeah?
Nathan, they're terrified of you because of the information that you are putting out. Terrifies them. Because now they have to address something. They have to address what's going on internally in their mind when they're presented with something as simple as the Earth being measured flat, directionality, compass. You know, you hold the compass, you know damn well where North is. For some reason, you start to say up and south is down. But when you're holding a compass, that's not what it says. So it's strange because you're challenging them, but instead of, let me look into this, they want to attack.
I've actually got to make an apology. I can't believe I'm having to do this. I've just looked this up. Wayne's actually correct. Gas does actually go south for the winter.
That's funny.
Yeah, horizontal direction from our measured flat Earth.
But they gotta do a deep search. They gotta look internally at what's going on. I mean, this topic is out there. It's in your face. It's right there. And now when you're coming with somebody saying, wait a second, You're talking about a measurement here? Because they know what measurement means. When you measure something, you know what that is. So it's a very scary time for a lot of people.
Well, you've done typical, hasn't it? Like, you've seen the measurements, you've been challenged, your head's sort of going over this evidence of direction and horizontal and Earth's measured flat. And then how's he going to get out of this? Well, you've got the magic word gravity. You can always pull that out of the bag, or try to. And then invisible magnetic field lines, we'll try and use that one. Anything we can pull out the magic hat to just get rid of that evidence of the horizontal baseline, we'll try anything.
Yeah, it's scary for them because now their whole worldview is challenged. And instead of looking into it, they want to brace against it. And the person that is saying the most devastating thing that can be said. Now, you could argue about gravity. Nobody's going to bother you. You could argue about Coriolis, and they'll argue right along with you. But when you say measured, we must take him down.
I've never understood this, guys. I mean, if, I came in realizing the Earth was flat in my own way. I'm not going to go into the story, but if somebody would have approached me as a glober, as me being a glober, and put this evidence down, I'd be like, wow, I need to bloody have a look at this. This looks like it's fucking truthful, and I need to make some inquiries. This is mind-blowing. Give me some more. That's how I'd be.
Yeah, the old school rhetoric of ball belief. Forget about people bracing against it, so-called flat earthers who say we're not on a ball. To believe you're on a ball, the first fundamental principle you must understand is horizontal linear measurement in miles. You're going to have every single aspect of heliocentrism based on an extrapolation from horizontal mile distances alleged to be congruent with sphericity after they've been extrapolated into sphericity. So, for example, if you're going to assert a distance to a geometric physical sphere edge for a horizon that's Earth curve, you need to understand how distances operate. If you're going to understand how extrapolations in mathematics at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's measured height off sea level work, then you first need to understand how to measure your height off a flat Earth from sea level that's been measured flat. So there's several flat Earth prerequisites that you must understand before you can understand how those flat measurements can, in your mind only, make the world a ball. You need horizontal surface level. If you're going to measure an altitude from it, it's got to be averaged with a reference. That's sea level. That's a plane. Now, if you're going to measure a distance with respect to said plane, you'll measure it in miles, horizontal and linear. If you're going to measure an altitude, you're going to measure it perpendicular to the plane of reference. If you're going to infer that there's a geometric horizon below the surface level, then you need to measure a depression angle from a parallel eye level, parallel with surface level. These are all axioms that are unequivocally required for you to believe you're on a ball. There are 3 flat Earth prerequisites that must be accepted as Earth is measured for you to believe you're in a ball. I say in a ball because that's how it will be applied after the fact. Here it is on screen. You're never working from a heliocentric surface if you're describing the calculations and extrapolations to flat linear mile measurements of a radius at 3959. You're always inside a ball that's a glorified protractor, deriving its sphericity from the flat Earth elevation angle measurements of stars. So there's a multitude of flat Earth prerequisite measurements of surface level for sea level and parallel eye level and altitude that cannot be denied for you to have a sphere belief. Now, the game for the last 12 years is whistle past all of that shit and start all statements with, if Earth's a ball, Well, how'd you get to being on a ball? Oh, well, you accept flat Earth surface level, sea level, altitude, eye level, parallel with it, to create the maths that infers that you're on a sphere that you can ignore because they're flat Earth measurements, and start with the presupposition you were taught in school. So, from moving forward, why am I telling you this? This is why I terrify you. Because you know that if you were to face me, it would be about 45 seconds before you used a flat Earth measurement to suggest you're on a ball. That's why I scare all of you. Because you know that I'll point out exactly how flat you require Earth to be for your dumbass sphere belief.
Exactly. You've got to start, like you say, let's talk about some measurements of Earth. Where do you want to start? Like you just said, Nathan, we're going to start at the 0 degree baseline that we call sea level. Sorry, I mean mean sea level. And there's the starting point. And it's level. If they're really wrapped up and terrified at this point and don't want to accept this, then they'll start trying to change definitions of level.
Or
to suit their religious belief.
Alternatives do include calling the police on Nathan, calling social services on Nathan, making videos that suggest he's a child beater, putting in copyright strikes, suggesting he jumps off tall buildings, suggesting he has his balls removed. These are other alternatives that wankers like Wayne from the map reading company have exercised.
But you can't assert a different definition for level, else you got to throw out the Earth curve math.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
One moment.
Any more comments? If not, I'm going to round out the live show. Fun has been
can
had.
a measurement be challenged?
No, it's not a debating point, and it's not a definition. It's not scientific validity. It's just a measurement. If you want to decide, for example, that you don't like miles, as I said on yesterday's show, or you don't like horizontal linear miles, so when you're deriving 8 inches per mile, the mile's bent too. No, it doesn't work. You all require Earth to be measured flat in miles. That's how it's measured. Like on the little scales on maps. That's how we measured Earth. Any more for any more?
Yeah, like the previous guy, sock account saying Nathan reifying on screen, sea level must be level? Question mark. Why? Question mark. Not because of evidence, because definition. These people are delusional.
There's a measurement. It's an average, right? Sea level being level is not a definition. That's not me defining it either, even if it was, right? Sea level's an average measurement. That's what it is. It's a measurement. Now, you can contest it and say, I don't like it. Okay, well, it's a good job you fart-sniffing Batman T-shirt wearing wankers aren't the arbiter of these things, eh?
Besides, we know who you are. So take it on a hop.
Any more for any more? Last call. Okay. With that, I will say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Work here,
Right, but it's never a question of sincerity. It's always like it's like a trick question, or they're trying to set you up for something. We can't be set up with nothing. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, it's the same old delusional pretending of a gotcha. It's just grasping for straws when they're drowning. Yeah, the Earth's measured flat.
Well, this is the point. There is no getcha. There is no
Yeah, that's
gotcha.
the whole point. It's not an argument. Go ahead, bro.
We can't be tripped up, so it's in vain that they do it. But they do it for a reason, because there's still an audience out there that really are not locked in like we're locked in. And they know they can persuade certain people with their little trickery. So that's why they come in and do it. Because they know they got no standing with us. We know what Earth is measured and how it's measured.
Yeah. They'll start talking about pi equals 2, and then you've got,
Exactly.
you tell them latitudes and elevation angle to and from Polaris, and they've got latitude on the globe, but then they want to know, well, how is it measured from the southern hemisphere? Well, it's on your globe, you tell me. But it's an elevation angle measurement from sea level, so it isn't a curve measurement by any chance of the matter. skipping past angles.
Yeah, you know what they do? They change their names, they change their voices, and they forget what they changed it to, or they don't realize that they're off mute, and then they speak with their real voice while they're in character with their other voice. They're the icon, but they're speaking with their real voice. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Are you there? Are you there, Nathan? No. Get out of town.
Hello?
And you don't ever
must
meet
be-
these types of folks.
Can you
Lord
hear
bless
me?
actually honest folks to come here and we can actually have an honest conversation.
You won't get an honest conversation out of them because they're not honest.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
that's the whole
honest.
deal.
Listen,
Out of these
hold on. I got to correct you on
start
something.
sniffing dweebs, Jesus help me.
There will be no conversation. There'll be us telling them what's what. The days of conversation are over. We will be
Well, yeah, I'm
telling
referring
them
to like
what's
Joe
what.
Mormons that actually, you know, having a conversation to, so be it that, oh, this is information that they are connecting to know. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll be telling them
you're
too.
never going to have anything to debate about, or how you are so consequential to changing how the earth and its aspect and how it's measured flat. No, you're never going to change the earth from being flat because it's just measured flat. Yeah, it's the antecedent already for you to measure it flat. Like the one delusional guy accusing Nathan of affirming the consequent fallacy. You nuts. Oh yeah, you demonstrate your delusion.
Level doesn't mean flat, you know.
How did he formulate the affirming the consequent? I'd love to hear that.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see him put it in a modus tollens or a modus potens. It's completely laughable. No, measurements are not an if and then conditional statement. That's just the way it is. Yeah, measurements are to know. Yeah, it does demonstrate their vitriol and their cognitive dissonance and their vengefulness and their pettiness and their petulant children behavior when you have to lash out against people, threatening their very lives, their children's lives, creepy stalker nonsense.
Just go away, right?
The dodgy name, it's like, yeah, no, just remove these folks and then
No, what I'm saying
bless us with
is,
people that actually,
what I'm saying
have a
is,
pleasant
they
conversation.
they could just go
Honest.
away. They can go away. Like, why are they trying to convince us of something? Just go away. You know it's a ball. Everyone else knows it's a ball. Live a happy life. Why are you in here trying to tell us that it's a ball? It's crazy, but when you come out of a cult, they want you back in. And then ones that want you back in don't realize that they're in the cult. It's strange how things are happening. But yeah, go on your merry way. We have nothing for you.
Yeah, they want to demonstrate their baculum fallacy, through force and coerce when you have no evidence, when you have to use our anybody's who's ever measured the earth, flat earth measurements for your ball belief. But yet it's after measuring the earth flat in reality, somehow reality is your ball belief. No, it's just measured flat. There's no war here. There's no battle or point of contention or anything to draw your swords over. We all that's ever done it ever will be measuring the earth flat. The earth's flat.
Well, that's the thing. Nothing else has created this much animosity. Not any other argument. I mean, it was fine. You argue all day long about other things, but this statement of fact cuts right to the core. Gets right to the core. Cuts right through all the bone. right? We're saying it is measured flat, and that cuts right to the heart of the matter. No playing around. And this is what's troubling to them. That's why Nathan is the, public enemy number one. Shut this guy up. He's talking about how it's measured. Shut him up. Shut him down.
Oh yeah,
Starve
they
him
have
out.
no. Yep, they have no problem with the Feast of Nonsense and other such red herring to infinite regress fallacy crap constantly continuing on and on and on. But when it comes to that, yeah, it's like, oh my God, this attacks my my zealotry. I got to do something about it. I'm Batman. I'm Superman, and I'm going to save the Earth from flat Earth measurements.
No, they don't. People like
no.
globe
Just
terminators are not
that serious. Go ahead, bro.
globe terminators are not harassed. They don't care. But when you're talking about what Earth actually is and how it's measured, that's a problem. You could terminate whatever you want. You could be a heliocentric destroyer, a globe destroyer, a globe buster, a ball buster. What do you call that other thing? A globe terminator? Yeah, fine. They'll argue with you all day long and be happy to do it. But once you say measurement, nope, we can't have that.
Well, for there to be a globe terminator, there must first be a globe.
There you go.
Yep.
So when you're a globe terminator, you're just your name alone. You're inviting them.
Existing to terminate it in the first place. Right on, John. Go ahead, Neil.
Forget it.
Sorry.
You stole Neil's thunder. Man,
No,
I'm in the doghouse the last couple of days.
It's just a fact. I mean, it is what it is. Your name alone is like victory. All right, this guy's a globe buster. All right, victory. This guy's a globe terminator. Victory. But when you say measured flat, Houston, we got a problem. We got a few that figured it out.
That's from the They Live. We've got one here that can see.
Yep, exactly.
I just went on a walk, and I realize now that I am horribly out of shape. Oh.
Talking about they live, what always got me was when they realized that people could see them. The shock on their face. And that's what we are to them. When we see it, the little shock on the ballers' faces and everybody else's faces. Like, oh, how can they be seeing this? We had it there the whole time. We had sea level there the whole time, and they were arguing about the curve calculator. How did they figure it out? How did they see it? Oh, whatever it is, we see it.
I think it's not necessarily them thinking we had it here the whole time. How are they just now seeing it? It's more of, oh my God, we had it here the whole time.
Yeah, they had it hiding in plain sight the entire time. There'd be a few people that would say a few words, but everybody would just brush right past it. That had to be like a little shock to them, huh? Oh, thank God, he didn't catch on. He didn't catch on. He's still arguing about Earth curve here. We're still arguing about space isn't real. They're still buying 9/11. It's an inside job. No planes. Oh, what's that? He's a man? Oh, there you go. We got him right where we want him. Now, all of a sudden, 10 years down the road, maybe it was 7 years, measurements started coming into the picture. Now that's a problem. Now we got to turn all forces. We got to turn everybody to stop this right here. Everything else to let go. There's never been any more like resistance to any other argument, but this measured flat, we're getting resistance from both sides.
Yeah. The globe
Because you can't argue with-
debunking is over. Go on, John.
I was just saying, it's not up for debate, and they want to debate the issue. You know, it's what they want is the argument.
Right, and when you're debating something, you're keeping that something alive. Every time you talk about how, well, it can't be a globe because of this, you are keeping that globe alive. You are freaking representing the globe more than anybody. Oh, it don't work. Look, we see too far. You're keeping a globe alive, buddy. How am I doing that? Well, you're not saying it's measured flat. You're not pointing out the facts of the matter. You're pointing out something else. And when you're pointing that something else out, you're pointing to a freaking globe that you're trying to freaking annihilate, supposedly, or bring people to the truth of all truth.
Yeah. And now we're here at that point. Now you're thinking, why did it take us so long to get to this point? It's like every point you get to, you think, why have we missed that? Or why did it take so long? So I don't know what the next point's going to be that we get to. But I don't think there is one, but I don't know what it's going to be. But like you say, yeah, you've just been globe debunking for years and missing the actual facts of the matter, which was a measurement.
Well, you can continue with the evergreen of other measurements as well and go into detail of other measurements, like bringing up about sound with the polar patterns, you know, with microphones and other instruments and stuff. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not at a point ever where like, wow, we know, perfectly, and standing with God as though we know every single ever measurement. Like, oh, you'll be like, oh, look at this sound and the polar pattern of each one of these mics and how they're measured from the horizontal plane of reference. And oh yeah, it's actually a flatter proof.
Remember when Jin got so offended? Remember when Jin got so offended because I was calling him he's an enabler? He wasn't putting it together. He wasn't comprehending. How can I be an enabler? I'm going around. I've had, look at my track record. I've had wonderful results. Yeah, wonderful results in keeping a globe alive.
Yeah, what did he use as a yardstick for his measurement of success anyway? Like,
well, it's what Jin says. If Jin said, he talks to normies. He goes after globers and like he'll annihilate them and really abuse them. But the normal people, the everyday man, how many have you run into? He's in all Discord servers. So when you're running into these people on the street, and when you do, you're telling them how it's not a globe, that we see too far.
right. Well, see, the thing is, if they're not ready to hear the truth, you have an agent or an anti-flat earther, as we've come to call them, ready to spring out on you any moment. They are, it's part of challenging a belief. You know what I mean?
Oh, so what you're saying is if you're speaking to somebody that ain't ready, they're going to instantly become an anti-flat earther. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I think, well, it's funny you said that because I was thinking that when Nathan was doing the show about Wayne. Even Nathan said it. I was laughing at the time. I think he said he's won an award for the quickest person to wear a Batman t-shirt or, turn into an anti-flat earther. And there was that was the truth. Wayne is just automatically turned into an anti-flat earther. over a couple of challenges, or a couple. Us pointing out his incorrectness of what he's saying and how he's dealing with navigation. He's turned immediately. Yeah, you're right. It's something within you. Nathan did pointed it out on the show as well. Yeah.
Yeah, after giving the impression at first, the false impression, that he'll just be cool. Okay, yeah, I took your image off the thumbnail, and we can just go about it as men, and things are cool. Nope, and then the Mr. Hyde comes out after pretending to be Mr. Jekyll.
No, months ago when we did the trig point, the trig point video, we all love Wayne. He was so happy and jolly in his job, and he was peaceful, and just telling us how trig worked and horizontal distances from sea level, and the altitude of the trigs above sea level, and how you'd use a theodolite on the levelness of the trig point to then gauge another distance horizontally to the next area that is all horizontally attached. And he was loving his life. He was loving his job. Now he's an anti-flat earther in pain.
Which is going to cause him some trouble with his job, because if he continues on with that north is up, boy, he going to get fired.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it's got him thinking, and he'll try, he can't resist, because it's troubling. It's like all of us when we first came to it. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Now, perhaps, I don't know, but perhaps this caught a vein, and this is making him think. Oh, why do you think he's responding to freaking? He's deleting Wondek's comments that are factual and going over to Nathan and crying about it. Something's bothering him.
Well, he's in his mind. He's this magnetic field line, which goes in at some point and obviously comes out somewhere else, which means the Earth's a globe, even though he's using the compass horizontal parallel to surface level. Now, he in his mind, that's correct, because he's looked at a few diagrams and it shows the red and blue magnetic field lines wrapped around the sphere, globe, whatever you want to call it. So he's asking Nathan, maybe you just can't unravel this thing that he's got embedded in him. Maybe he really wants Nathan to do the video to unravel this next piece of the tangled web in his mind, so we can unravel that. I don't know.
The most telling thing about his response to Nathan was he used a horizontal direction and a vertical vector, right? He used two different conventions that require Earth to be flat to describe how they are the same with the other.
That's correct.
He don't have either one of them on a sphere.
And this is what's troubling to him.
It's just another example of hold a flat Earth up against the flat Earth, and then it has to be a globe, right?
But like I said earlier, if it was me, if I was Wayne, the mapping guy, me being me, just, describing how I'm using Earth flat and level, but in my mind, thinking that I live on a globe because that's what I've been taught. And then somebody puts some, gives me some information, factual information, that I'd find that very interesting. And I'm going to, wow, yeah, I can understand this, and it's been cited. It's not a lie. These guys aren't making it up. They're just saying, look, it is a horizontal cardinal direction. It's not a lie. We didn't invent this. It's just the way it is. So you must be thinking, well, that can't be right because I live on a globe and north is up and south is down, but this makes sense. I need to look into this. This is absolutely fantastic information. That's what I'd be like. I'd be thinking, wow, I want to know more about this. I'd be interested.
Yeah, making it
No.
about us when it's just measured flat. No.
No, instead you talk about needles bending.
It made me laugh at that video though when I found it when he started talking about the gas coming down. I thought, oh, that's the fucking gas go down, go boom boom. It was funny.
Yeah, it's funny because if you stop and think, when you say north means up, that's where the penny should drop, right? If you're holding a compass in your hand, or even imagining that you're holding a compass, and you say, all right, point, look at it, it's pointing north. It's not up in the air. And south is not down towards the ground. The penny should drop. Like
No, but Neil,
immediately.
you've got the magnetic field lines. That's what's so that overcompensates for that. That takes that out of the situation. It's just the magnetic field lines. That's why.
So the new gravity is the magnetic field lines. That's the new gravity when speaking about measurements and compasses. The magnetic field line. It's due north is what do you call that? Electromagnetism stuff. Yeah, it all checks out. Yeah. Up. North is up. I understand I'm holding a compass and it's pointing in a flat linear direction, but hey, electromagnetism.
That's what we got to start saying. What's north, baby? What's north?
That was funny. When you came in this morning, he said, "What's north? What's north?" Yo, I'm really feeling south today, man. I've just been in like a depression guy. I can't find a job. I'm really feeling south.
I had a feeling something was north with you, mate.
Well, I'm going to go and get a J and get north. You know what I'm saying?
You're bringing the tone of the whole show south. You know that.
Oh, it's funny. Got to change the way we speak now.
Well, I am one of those South Life kind of people, disreputable South Life kind of people.
So when my son's got a job interview today, so he's taking a nap. So when I shake him, I got to start saying, "Wake north, wake north, wake north. Come on, wake north."
He's a heliocentrist. Yeah, you have to. No, I'm curious if this is just something that this map reading guy's done, or if it is consensus for heliocentrists to believe that north is generally up.
But that's what they do believe. There has to be. What do you mean? What else could it be? We live on a globe. Don't you know that? The Greeks all knew that.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. You have no point of reference if you believe the Earth is a sphere. That's why they're having so much trouble with this. You know what I mean? You can't reference anything, so you end up saying stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, that is something, though. It changes your whole way. Your whole dialogue has to change. Right? Because if you're under the assumption and belief through the schooling system that you live on a globe, then you don't have up and down anymore.
Well, and that's part of advanced heliocentrism is to say that there is no up or down. There is only an inertial vector, and what appears to be up and down, there is no actual up and down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you find all this out, it just turns your world north, side, south.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
I think that would be a fair question to ask heliocentrists when they come in, though. Is, are you under the assumption that north is up?
No, listen, that was good. One day. You're turning my world north, side, south. Oh, that's funny. Took me a second, but I was like, what's he talking about? You're turning my whole world north, side, south.
North, side, south. More you turn me.
That's what I was thinking of.
Inside out, round and round.
North, side, south.
Yeah, they're supposed to be
West.
saying they're supposed to be saying in and out, right? But they never do. Because if you said in and out in place of up and down or north and south, you'd look like a complete spastic.
You got to make that song one day. North, side, south, you're turning me. That's Diana Ross, right? I'm thinking. I know I'm a little rusty. Yeah, that's Diana Ross. Y'all see?
Yeah.
Y'all see who made my shit list?
Who?
There's a new member to the shit list.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Why is he? What did he say that put him on it?
Not what he say. It's not what you say. It's where you dwell. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about backswax, right?
Yeah. See, once you're on the other part of town, you go to the shit list. This is Neil. Listen, this is not you guys. These are your own individuals. This is Neil's shit list. Neil had to be this way because the way I grew up, if I couldn't trust the guy that was with me, I'd be dead. So mine is severe. So when I see you on the other side of town, boom, you're cut out. That's it. Done. You're on the shit list.
Yeah, and the part that's revealing is that they're not there honorably or calling folks out,
Right.
and you're hamming it up and supporting and rubbing elbows and ding ding ding, yeah, you're part of the betrayers. Got it. Yeah, you are to be absolutely separated at that point. You demonstrated your fruits. Yeah, you are to be absolutely separated from us.
You know, I was thinking because the show was on yesterday was on with Sasha, and I'm trying to think because I don't remember there's a language barrier too with Sasha. Okay, now I was thinking, is he thinking that whole nonsense with the stealing of the book? Is he like mixing that up with the bullshit story that they said about the book getting stolen from a shed? So I might have been hard on him, but I'm thinking that he's mixed all of this up and he's not really comprehending because when Nathan laid it out plain and simple, like he did on 20 other videos, but we won't talk about that, that's when he was like, all right, now I'm clear. It could be that, that because of the language barrier and because of the phony stolen bullshit, he was mixing things up. And he also bought the bullshit that they were working on. There was 2 books. So if you buy that bullshit, yeah, you can get caught up in it. But
You know, I've only had one communication with QE since this shit's happened.
that's why you're an honorable man. That's why you made the what do you call that? The executive list.
Well, I asked Nathan before I had that one communication with him, you know? Like, because Nathan was the one that was wrong. I didn't want to feel like I was alienating the victim. What kind of piece of shit does that?
Now, when you went to him, I remember what you said.
Victory
Very honorable.
Royale!
You tried to bring him to his senses, and he didn't receive it.
Well, he threatened me in a very low-key kind of way, stating that what I was giving him was unwanted legal advice. Or unsolicited, sorry. Yeah, he was under the delusion that me pointing out that he just committed a theft was me giving him unsolicited legal advice.
Yeah. Well, how do you steal something that's yours? That's his thinking.
When it's just pure projection and that it's not yours. And we even have the recordings that it is Nathan's. Yeah. And that we are just exposing you at this point. And there comes a point where we're just going to shake the dust off our feet and you're just removed, not dealing with any traitors. Yeah. We bring the light to the darkness and you're exposed and removed.
Yeah, Nathan done that right away. Nathan gave them time to listen, come to your senses. All right? They didn't. Boom. Everyone was removed. Gone. Now they sacrificed the friendship. And that was my whole thing with it too, because I knew there was going to be casualties. The people like Sasha, people like freaking Chocolate. People,
Now you're bringing up the fence straddlers. Ugh.
Yeah, you're going to be casualties, and that's what I said. You're forcing people, you're forcing them to choose, and that's just not right, because you're not right. So this is what happened, but
Hey, I tell you what, if you're lukewarm, I'd rather spew you from my mouth.
that's freaking right. Violently thrust you from me. And that's what I used. I used the illustration when biblical, since you're going to go with the spew you out. There was a time when Peter, the apostle Peter, one of Jesus' inner circle. Hold on a second. One of Jesus' inner circle was playing both sides of the fence. He was a Jew with the Jews. When he was with the Gentiles, he was with the Gentiles, and he was forcing Jewish law on the Gentiles. And here comes Paul finding out about all of this. He didn't gently freaking call him over and, hey, let's talk about this. He withstood him to the face because he was to be blamed. He was guilty of it. And you know what a righteous man does? When your sin is brought to you, you immediately recognize it. And that's what happened. Peter immediately recognized it. David immediately recognized it when Nathan, the prophet, came to him with his little analogy. He realized that he was the man Nathan was talking about, and he immediately repented. There's no resistance. But these are righteous people we're talking about.
Yeah, because even the righteous man falls 7 times.
That's right.
It could have been a mistake. There was a lot of people saying a lot of things about the ghost riders and all that. I could see you getting confused.
John, I'm tracking with you. This is my point. And you gave them, and you could have any time came to his senses and be like, you're freaking right. What the hell was I thinking? I got caught up in it. I heard the God. Listen. And everything would have been fine. Nope.
Exactly, guys. It's like, by Jesus' discernment, hey, wait a minute here. This smells to high heaven. This is absolute dunghill. This needs to be removed. Nope, they just wallowed in it and pretend like it doesn't smell and like they're smelling like roses.
Well, you know what I thought would have woke them up more than me, Neil? It was you. The fact
That's what I thought.
That you stood up for what was right. I thought that would have shocked QE at least into really taking a hard look at what he had done.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, because that's why they called me on the side, because they get me to go along with them, like, you know. But I was hoping that if I'm saying, what the frick is wrong with you, then something would, you know, click. No, but listen, when you allow sin to become a whisper, then, you know, when it is conceived, forget it. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. When you allow pride to get in, because what's the middle letter in sin? 3-letter word, S-I-N, I. What's the middle letter in pride? A 5-letter word, P-R-I-D-E, I. You always see the I in the center. I. That's sort of Satan's fall when he said, I will do this, I will do that, I will ascend above the heavens, I will be like the Most High. It's all pride. And Ranty was the little serpent that became the whisperer. And they bought it. It's if you really evaluate it, I mean, QE used to couldn't stand Ranty. If you go back and listen. And that's the one that freaking caused him to freaking betray Nathan? What the freak happened? Did everybody eat the stupid pill that day?
Well, it's, you know, the echo chamber shit is real. It is. If you get enough people saying the same thing, that's one of the reasons they get so mad at me, is because, you know, I took I'd always take the 10th man position of standing in opposition until it is known to be a fact. You know what I mean? And
yep.
With that, for some reason, it was not tolerated.
Yep. But anyway, they're just the reasons why people meet my shit list. See, Eli went right to the executive list. Eli was truthful. He's like, you know what, man, I miss them. I miss the show. I miss hanging out with them. But I can't get past what they did. It's simple. Like, he said he likes their show. I don't get that. But, you know, that's Eli, you know. But Eli said it correctly.
I couldn't get past it either. Like, you know, how can you be a good person, right? Or even how could you even attempt to look anybody else in the eye and ignore that just happened?
Well, they put out a smear campaign, like Nathan says. You know, it's a tactic. And the other guy, make him like this ungrateful bastard that was playing video games all day while they were slaving under the heat. You know what I'm saying? They were slaving and arguing over the word the. Anyway, you know.
You know how many hours were actually put into that?
I'd say it's a stretch to make 30 hours.
No, I'd say you make 36, maybe 40 hours total.
Okay.
Yeah.
But see, that shows you how gullible people are. Because, listen, this was a no-brainer to me. I thought, in my naive way of thinking, that this is a no-brainer. They're not going to have no support. And boy, was I wrong. So people are...
Well, see, part of it, there was a rhetoric change around the same time where, you know, we understood something new about the topic that changed the way we discussed it. And I think a lot of the people that were resistant to that narrative change took his side just out of spite.
I think you got
yeah,
a
that
point.
point was taken away from them. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying that I think he's got a point.
Yeah, my part is just that. Yeah. Oh, we're also now FED bad. We're the bad guys because we took away their fart sniffing and their puffing of their chest. And oh dear, you're not the anti-globe guru anymore, and something to lord over us and stuff. Oh, how dare you! So you let folks like that individual tickle in their ear with their serpentine spirit. Yeah, that you're ghost riders and and no, you just stole that material that's from Nathan, and then now God is redeeming Nathan for even more fruitfulness with this book.
Yeah, it wasn't even what do you call it? It was providence. Like now
Yep,
this
amen.
book is outstanding. Now, it hits the point. Listen to what Nathan's wife said. If she took anything out of it, she knows beyond the shadow of a doubt that Earth is flat. Not saying that that's what she's taken as a reader. What a reader's going to come to is that beyond the shadow of a doubt, Earth is measured flat. I forgot how she phrased it, but that's perfect.
She said, in all instances, Earth is measured flat.
There it is. There it
But
is.
Yep,
if
that's
you
just
notice,
what it is.
if you notice, it's the Globers lined up with QE. Have you ever heard them do that before? Why?
Oh yeah,
You
it's
can't.
very
Because
telling
he's
when you
keeping the globe alive.
see the stock accounts. Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
There's
You're
a
up, buddy. Go ahead, Nathan.
deeper explanation for that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's what that is.
Yes, but the reason you are the enemy, right, is because your rhetoric, or the rhetoric we're using now, or the mantra, dogma, whatever you want to call it, is more destructive to their faith than what the other people are stating. So, of course, they're going to line up with them. They're giving them their globe and trying to destroy it, At least they're giving them their globe.
Yeah, the change in rhetoric was a phasing out of housekeeping because it seemed stupid to carry on doing it. Well, like you say, there's going to be a certain group of people that you still get occasionally. People will come back and be like, "Why don't you go and debate Globers on this channel?" And you're like, "Because I'd be lying to myself, wouldn't I? I'd be perpetuating the bullshit idea that there's a debate if I go in and start saying, well, how'd you prove there's Earth curve?" You're like, well, hold on, aren't I just poking, what's the word, flogging a dead horse? The answer's yes.
They didn't like
Well,
that.
but right, and they don't like that because the perception of the debate existing, the idea that you can use reason and logic to come to these conclusions about Earth being a sphere or Earth being flat. They need that. They want that. It makes them feel important on both sides.
Yep.
So,
And measured flat takes it away.
right. And then you have a group within FED that just done this horrible thing. They're thieves, but they at least give you your globe before they try and take it away. You know what I mean? So, it it's sad, but that's just how people are. They will rationalize their own side's behavior, just so that they can continue on with their belief.
still make believing that it's something to debate about when, oh, we're the bad guys for just stating something that just is, with the Earth being the antecedent horizontal plane for anyone that's ever measured it, that it's measured flat. Oh, you're the bad guy. Or therefore, yeah, you got to continue somehow, some way, with an infinite regress fallacy that what if and yeah, and appeal to incredulity fallacy that, I just don't believe it. And yeah, no, just, yeah, meanwhile, they are measuring the Earth flat and they're giving you the measurements themselves for their ball belief.
Yeah, but the moment you take those measurements and you put them in an if statement for if the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 39, 59, the moment you do that, you have done something for them.
That's correct.
Your tacit acceptance is all they require. They don't care what you say after that statement.
Exactly, John.
The measurement cuts right to the heart of the matter. It cuts through all the fluff. There's no keeping a globe alive. There's no talking about how it's not curved. It's just telling you directly how the plane we are standing on is measured. How you need a horizontal plane of reference to get any sort of measurements of height or distance or whatever. And that just cuts right to the heart of the matter. And people weren't ready to take that step because you can listen to some old shows and you'll hear one that come in and bring up the horizontal plane and you'll hear, you don't think I know that? I know that. But that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to show them how the globe don't work. What's wrong with you, Aztec?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. If you build a world in ifs, you could be wrong.
That's correct.
You don't know that you're using fallacious logic until someone points out you're using fallacious logic. So the moment the if statement is introduced, you have created an ambiguity. And that is where the globe lives, in that if statement.
Exactly.
Whereas if you have somebody forcibly introducing the if statement with regards to a globe, and you point out that their if statement relies upon an acceptance of a flat earth measurement, both parties become utterly inconsequential in the endeavour. And I think that is the most, I don't know if cathartic is the right word, like you're offsetting your perceived importance in the subject to a greater power. What do I mean? I mean, if you can argue about it, it has a perception that you are somehow consequential to it. It's like when the guy was talking to Neil yesterday saying, I can't help you to understand this. In that person's mind, when they're saying things like that, they feel that they have a certain degree of power over the environment. And their power over the environment can be expressed to another person. Now, upon accepting that you are utterly inconsequential when it comes to Earth and its measurements, you suddenly step back from it and go, well, what's left? Well, nothing. You can praise God for giving you the opportunity to take part in such an amazing creation. That's about it. Now, I'm not going to downplay that. All praise be to the infinite power of God's great creation. But I don't have any consequence over it. And there's an impression that you could have or do have some consequence over it. You have to relinquish that if you appreciate how insignificant you are with regards to the so-called discussion. And I don't think people want that. They do want to be significant with regards to their environment. They want to be consequential with regards to it. And the only way to make it be perceived to be, or them to be consequential, is to project that feeling of consequence onto another person by making them wrong. That's it. That's the whole setup.
Exactly. Perfectly said. But the thing is this, though, too, but I do believe, I get what you're saying, but how can I phrase this in a way where you won't go down the path I think you go down? By saying it's measured flat and bringing people to that understanding, there might be, you know what I'm saying? The penny might drop, like it dropped with me and a lot of people. So I think the book is gonna have that effect on a lot of people. So in essence, you are changing just by the information you're giving out. You're changing the perception of what the world is.
That's dependent on whether or not the people who initially buy it are moved or compelled to recommend it to people who are external to the subject. That's to say, if I've done a good job and people can say, yes, I can perceive how Betty Spinster would read this and appreciate from the outside of the subject that Earth is measured flat. And it won't be cause for an argument, it'll be cause for reflection. If that is the thoughts of the people on the inside who get it first, they'll recommend it to next man. Whereas if they read it and go, I think this will cause more arguments than resolve, then they won't recommend it.
I don't see that happening because you're taking away all the arguments. You're demonstrating in reality what's what.
I'm not taking away from them. Let's not confuse what I have done. I haven't taken away the arguments. I've shown how the arguments included flat Earth prerequisites. That's what the book does.
Correct. That's right.
I mean, that effectively, the consequence of that is that the argument dissolves, it becomes moot. But it's not to say that I'm taking the argument away. I'm saying, here's the argument. You need to suggest that Earth's a sphere, and to suggest that it's a sphere, you need to measure it flat to achieve that. That's the essence of the whole book. And if that's digestible, or somebody who, like I say, is a flat earther, reads that and perceives that it's, or even the opposing side, it might be that, that it's not the loudest voices that are necessarily reflective of the people around them and their general demeanour when it comes to information. It may be the case that somebody who's a staunch globe believer reads the book as an anti-flat earther / globe believer and goes, wow, yeah, there's no getting away from this, is there? It's measured flat. And to deny it means I deny the foundations of my belief that I held. Now that I understand how the foundations of the belief I held were built on the measurements of a flat surface, I can't escape the flat surface. And therefore I'll recommend it to my cousin. Because I don't think I'll get in, I won't suddenly be labelled a stupid flat earther by recommending this book to them.
Yeah, you put a spotlight on the whole situation.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd have listened to Brian, it took us your special boys saying it to you before you get it.
No, if you listen to Brian, the book would be out, and it would be a disaster.
You summed it up earlier already with this. There's a group that we have that's been built up over the period of time that I've been doing the subject, and exclusion from that group is embarrassing. Like I said about a week ago, people crave social acceptance. If you're like Adam Meakin getting excluded left, right and centre from groups that you join, that becomes a pattern. Well, that's unfortunate for somebody that would seek social acceptance, isn't it? Well, that's the punishment. Like, well, don't you care that they've stolen from you? Well, of course. Past tense, I cared. But the loss isn't necessarily the material. That's the reason for the loss. The loss is the exclusion of people who are highly regarded members of a group. They suddenly become outcasts. Now, yes, there's going to be a certain sentiment of people saying, well, how dare you do this? How do you live with yourself thieving? And what do you know? They turn around and say, I didn't thieve it. It was already mine. Okay. Personally, I'd say just don't bother engaging. They're no longer a part of the group. They're going to justify their thievery. That's how they're going to cope with it. That's how they don't lose sleep. Well, I wasn't stealing anything. When I offered to help somebody with their material, what I actually meant was, I'll sit and waste your time writing my material with you in my company, with your name on the top of my book that I'm writing. I'll just take your name off it once I'm done. That's how they've justified it. And you're like, well, okay, you can justify it however you like. You're no longer a part of the group, though, are you? I mean, if nothing was wrong, you wouldn't have been excluded. Now, there's no getting away from that, is there?
No, there ain't. But just to the idea that they actually believe that crap, why would they ever approach you and ask your permission to have their names put on the book if it was their damn book?
Yeah, it's riddled with contradictions. You're right. But again, I don't want to necessarily dwell on the contradictions after the fact. Yes, I could say, if it, as they are now suggesting, always their material, how can I have stolen it? It was always mine. Really? Why did you ask him permission to have your name on it then? That makes no sense. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you lie. Yeah? The web gets bigger and bigger and, you know, becomes more and more fragile as the lie keeps being spun. Well, I'm not sat here, from my perspective, feeling like I've got to justify anything I've done. I'm not suddenly calling people and trying to seek their allegiance by putting my positive spin on what's happened. None of that needs to be done. But it does if you're the thief. Then you have to spend your entire time justifying it. Well, that's a very empty and hollow feeling. Now, when the book finally gets published, Chuck still hasn't got back to me before anybody asks. I'm sure he will in the next few days. But when it's finally published, there will be a huge sense of pride that I will have. Now, I know what you say biblically about pride and it coming before a fall, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is I'll just be pleased that I've achieved something. There won't be any justifications. I won't have people in my comments saying, is this the book you stole from Joe? No one's going to do that to me. Yeah? So, from that perspective, I can enjoy the moment. Whereas for somebody who steals a Ferrari and drives it around, yeah, they're driving a Ferrari. Yeah, I get that. But you've always got to look over your shoulder to see if the police are going to pull you over. You've always got to justify it to the people who ask you where you got it from, given that you haven't got a job at the moment. There's always going to be something that makes you feel crap about it, even though it's in your possession, because you've stolen it. Therefore, you can't extend the pride towards it. And me, I'm not going to spend my time going, oh, I spent 2,000 shows talking about these housekeeping questions. How can you justify them being yours? The people who are around me that I actually care about know what's happened. Yes, you got stolen from. That happens all the time. If D. Rose was here, he'd have 100 stories of people getting stabbed in the back when they're sat in the production studio producing the material, and then suddenly somebody decides, now it's mine, out of the blue. You're like, weren't you here to help me? No, I'm not here to help you. I'm actually here to steal from you. Because I see a certain value in what you're doing. I want it to be mine. You're like, okay, but you're never going to be Prince. You're never going to be Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson will always be the person with the talent. No matter how much you tell yourself that actually, now I came up with that song first. Did you? Okay. You can keep telling yourself that if you want. But it doesn't change the awful reality that you just don't have Michael Jackson's talent. No matter how much you steal from him.
All you're looking for is, Nathan, nothing wrong with using the word pride, but you can hold your head up.
Yes.
You can hold your head up. You can, because you've done nothing wrong.
It's the foundation of honor. Yeah. Like the example with D. Rose. Yeah. Oh, it's my beat. It's my sample. It's my lyrics. When, wait a minute, you just actually stole it. And we're just going to remove you and shake the dust off our feet.
Well, I think that's what's confusing people, too. They seem to think that there was more than one author. There's only one author. When people came on board, it was to edit it. Look up what an editor's job is, and you'll see that's exactly what was being done. They were editing Nathan's book, and somewhere along the line, Ranty whispered in their ear, and they became authors in their own mind.
Yeah, when you go back to the recordings or any of the shorts that Nathan has given, yeah, it demonstrably shows that, yeah, you were just there to help Nathan. So in pretending to help him, you've plotted out and schemed with your insidious behavior to backstab him.
Yeah, so back full circle. And what's the penalty? Well, you were excluded from a group of people that respected you, people that admired you, that wanted to spend time in your company, now despise you, don't want to spend time in your company, and have lost all respect for you. Now you can go, I don't care. Okay, good. It's an excellent transaction then. everybody's happy, right? You can move on with your life. I can move on with mine. What's that? You're going to monetize certain stuff that I've produced that you helped me with and have then stolen. Yeah, that happens. People will do that to you. I hope you feel proud. You know, when you're looking somebody in the eye and talking about something that was developed here over many, many years, as though it's your own, deep down, no matter how much justification you put into it, the very fact that you're having to justify it should be an alarm that goes off in your own head. Now, if it's not, then you have no empathy, then you're just a narcissist. In which case, you know, there's no trying to appeal to that person's, you know, better nature. Go on, Len. Is that accidental? I think it might have been accidental.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I overheard McToon saying something that QE's trying to sue McToon for doing a book review of his book and showing it on stream. I think he's trying to do 2 cases against him, which I find quite hilarious.
That gets me worried. I'm a little worried about that, and I'm a little concerned about that. But I'm going to try to do the same shit with you, Nathan. I'm telling you.
I'm sure. What's he going to do? Sue me for my own material? Probably. That's what thieves do. I had this Ferrari all along. I'm going to sue you for taking pictures of me in it. Okay, whatever.
So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The narcissism will continue to come out because he won't give a shit about you or your family. It's only what he thinks is his that's important. So, you know, just buckle up and be prepared. I know you are. But yeah.
Hey, they ain't no thief backing, right? I done thieved that nice and fair. There ain't no thieving that from me where I thieved it. I thieved it even.
With that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.